All right, so first and foremost, start off by saying Barakathon, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. You know, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shout out to the whole elect, starting with the 144,000. Shalom. All right, so the title of the lesson will be They Have a Zeal, but Not of Knowledge. And this lesson comes through a spirit power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And as I was watching watching lessons today, even when I got on YouTube, to find, to click, study under the elders, click lesson to watch. Most of the videos I was seeing was, the elders was, basically, correcting and, getting on Zabak, the guy Zabak. And, I was watching, I watched a good bit of, I watched like two Elder Pastor Hart lessons, and one, that hit me in the spirit. Well, I'm to go into this was, the Revelation 21:24, and the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light, and that's the Zabak, he broke that down wrong, right? And Lord willing, the elders are correcting him and whatnot, and Elder Pastor Rumlaw, he mentioned this at the end of the lesson of how guys don't see that rebuking as like helpful to them, for lack of better words. They see it as like someone coming at them or trying to down them or degrade them, right? Because ultimately, right, real quick, two quick precepts real fast. First, I want to go to Proverbs 29, verse 1. It says, He that being often reproved, harden his neck, shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy, because they see someone correcting them and they think it's coming from just that person as a man or someone trying to attack them as a person. But really, it's the spirit of Yahweh Shai Shai coming upon those ones to stand firm in his truth, and ultimately it's mercy as well, because just to let you go off is going to lead you right to destruction, man, right? It's going to lead you right to, to be destroyed. You're going to be destroyed right here in America. So ultimately it's the mercy of Yahweh Shai Shai, the spirit coming upon, the elders, the teacher system in the truth to correct you and, help you get an understanding of the right doctrine. But if you harden his neck, if you despise this correction, if you disregard it, then, you're going to be destroyed without remedy. You're going to be destroyed without no cause, man. Right? Well, I'm gonna go to this. NLT. Slide for all that. Bear with me. This is Proverbs 29. Slide for notification, right? This is verse 1. Proverbs 29 and 1 in NLT says, "Whoever stubbornly refuses to accept criticism will be destroyed beyond recovery, man. So it ain't gonna be no coming back. You done. And we know once the Most High take that spirit from you, right? Once the Most High take that spirit from you, we know what? Those demons come back on you, and that demon that was on you brings 7 more demons with them, right? So now you way worse than you were before. You way more going off than you were before, man, right? So when that correction comes, man, you can't despise it. A lot of you people feel like the elders trying to attack you, whatnot. It's another video he posted was saying, brother GMS said he was going to harm things and such. No, that's all pride, man. These guys love I'm watching these videos and you get thinking, the elders mentioned the pride as well, but these guys love the pride of, having these top seats, being in these top places, right? Actually, I'm going to go back to NLT on this, right? Being in these top seats, being in these top places, having the, matter of fact, I'm real preserve fat. It's Luke 26. It's Luke 6 and verse 26. It says, "Woe unto you when men shall speak well of you, for so did their fathers to the false prophets." And that's what these guys are. They want men to speak well of them. They want to look good inside of men. They want to be, they want to be cool. They want to be cool with everybody. They don't want to really rebuke. They don't want to really correct these guys for, saying these false things, because there's no other nation that's going to be saved, delivered, or brought into the chariots except for the Hebrew Israelites, man. That's it. That's all. And if you truly in the truth, and the Spirit's really dealing with you, then you will understand that. but the spirit not dealing with you, then it kind of show the spirit not necessarily dealing with you, man, because you going off in a way that's kind of like playing, and it's like you watching plenty of videos of the elders and things as such, and the videos that they put of him in the lesson that he's showing, he agreeing with those guys and trying to find ways to back it up or, things as such, because they're wise to their own deceit. They're wise to their own understanding. That's why I brought up the precept. I quote this precept as titled lesson. This is Romans 10:2 says, "For I bear them record that they have a zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge," because they don't have the true knowledge of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And their knowledge of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is spoken in a mystery. So everybody won't get or understand everything within this truth. Only the elect will get it or understand it. Right? It says, "For they being ignorant of Yahweh's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness, having submitted themselves have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of Yahweh," man. Right? It's another precept in First Timothy I was thinking about as well. Let me see. Bear with me. Let me see. Bear with me. I'm gonna search it up. Google my other phone. I got this one on airplane mode. There. Let me see. Bear with me. What else? Is this the spirit I'm looking for? It's a precept. It's like I meant to say. Let's see. Thinking of a precept. Well, no, I might just be looking right over it, but it's really going into how, they're going to depart from the truth, and they're going to speaking of their own understanding, speaking of their own knowledge, speaking of their own understanding. Bear with me. Let me see. Let me see. Bear with me. Let me see. Oh, it's actually good. Come on. How about you outside? This is actually right here. All right, let's take Timothy 4, and I start at verse 1. It says, "I charge thee therefore before Yahweh and the Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach, who shall judge thee quick in the day of his appearing in his kingdom. Preach the word, be instant in season, out of season, reprove and rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine." And that's what we're doing, because Jude chapter 1 verse 3, it tells you, man, you had those apostates, so we got to stand firm. We got to contend in the righteous faith, man, because you're gonna have these apostates. You're gonna have these stumbling about these false prophets who are gonna come with these doctrines that's gonna try to confuse the people. Gonna come with these doctrines that's not of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. It says, "For the time will come where they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust they shall heap to themselves teachers having itching ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth and shall be turned unto fables," man. And that's what it is. That's what these guys are doing, teaching something that's going off crazy, right? And, no other nation's gonna be saved, but it's all their pride. They don't want to accept that rebuking. When the scriptures tell you reprove and rebuke, right? Be instant in season, out of season. That's what's part of this ministry. Right? That's why two are greater than one. But if you despise that rebuking that's coming from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, right? Then you know you're not part of the truth, because come on, man, ain't no other nations going to be saved but the Hebrew Israelites. And these breakdowns, and that you going off things and such, man, just showing that you moving off your pride now, right? Another quick precept real fast. Lord willing. Meditating in the spirit. I just had a few precepts in mind. I wasn't gonna be no long one. Just understanding that they have a zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge, man. You're right. That this knowledge of Yahweh Shai, is given to the elect to truly understand the 100% truth. Because Yahweh Shai left the 100% truth, right? Matter of fact, this is John 16 verse 13. It says, "Howbeit when he," right? This is Yahweh Shai talking. "When he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, whatsoever he shall hear, that he shall speak. He will show you things to come." And that's the 100% truth, man. The Spirit that will crocodiles. Those how you know the Spirit ain't dealing with you if you're going off teaching these bullshit doctrines, these bullshit things. You know, because the Spirit of Yahweh Shai. Matter of fact, another quick precept real fast. 1 Corinthians 2:10. It says, "But Yahweh hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit, for his Spirit searches all things that are the deep things of Yahweh." Right? So this Spirit brings us the 100% truth. So, you know, and it's for us to stand firm in this truth daily when you have these things, because these guys have the zeal of the Most High, but they're not of knowledge. And our people, Hosea 4:6, our people will be destroyed for lack of knowledge because they don't understand it. But ultimately, we understand that there are going to be stumbling blocks set up amongst our nation, amongst the people, right, to try to deceive and trick the people. They could be sell out, so they truly could, the Spirit is not dealing with them, right? You know, and majority of the time they be sell out, man. They rather take the bag, right? But this is Titus 3 verse 8. It says, "This is a faithful saying. These things I will that thou affirm constantly." We got to affirm constantly, because you have these false prophets. You have these people who have the zeal of the Most High, but not according to the 100% knowledge of Yahweh Shai. So you got to affirm constantly, man. You got to contend in that faith, contend for the truth, right? The 100% truth. It says, "They that which have believed in Yahweh might be careful to maintain good works." It's like, excuse me. "These things are good and profitable unto men." Right? It says, "But avoid foolish questions, genealogies, and contentions." Right? These debates, all these, we're not doing that. You know, you either get it or you don't. Of course, we're gonna rebuke you and help you. And I don't watch the videos where the elders saying, you know, hey, actually, I know what video it was. It was the street ministry, right? It was the last count where Elder Apostle Arumlai came out there and all. And you know, they was saying, you know, it's about we love you, brother, but you know, right now you're going off. And he taking it as someone trying to jump down his throat coming at him. No, man, that's the Spirit behind Yahweh Shai, you know, coming upon them to correct you. You know, to help you out, but you taking it as someone coming at you type way, and you going off with these doctors, man. That's a stumbling block. That's how you're not dealing with you, man. You moving in that aspect, right? And once again, you have a zeal, you know, according to the Most High, but not of knowledge, because you know, ain't no way that you thinking that these other nations will be brought up in the church, the other nations will be saved, right? And Lord willing, you know, we're not using this to attack nobody, commit nobody, just for edification purpose for the elect, man, 144,000. That's what those watchmen are for. That's what Yahweh Shai said those watchmen are for. That's what Paul said, right? Actually, let's go to first Philippians. Let's go to Philippians. It's like chapter 1, and say Brian about. I know what we could do, right? We'll read it in NLT. NLT and KJV, right? So this Philippians 1 and verse 10 says, "For I want you to understand what really matters, so that you may live pure and blameless lives until the day of Hamashiach, Yahweh shall return. May you always be filled with fruit of your salvation, righteous character produced in your life by Yahweh Shah Hamashiach. For this will bring much glory and praise to Yahweh." Paul's joy that Hamashiach Yahweh Shah is preached. And I want you to know, my dear brothers and sisters, that everything that has happened to me here has helped to spread the good news. But I'm reading this in KJV as well. It says, but I would ye should understand, brethren, that the things which happened unto me have fallen out rather to furtherance of the gospel, right? Because the prophets, the elders, the teachers, the apostles, right? They went through these sufferings and pains. They went through these things. People trying to make them seem like they teaching wrong. People trying to make them seem like they doing evil work because they were rebuking and getting on you. Remember, Paul was killing them people. Paul was killing them. And the other pastor was talking about this in one lesson he posted today. And well, actually, this lesson right here, he brought out Acts 9, how Paul was slaughtering. He thought he was doing the most high work, right? But it's just the point of just showing you that people gonna come at you type of ways, right? But for you rebuking them, because the truth cut deep. They're gonna despise, they're gonna hate it, right? It says, for everyone here, including the whole palace guard, knows that I am in chains because of Mashiach Yahushua. And because of my imprisonment, most of the believers here have gained confidence and boldly speak Yahweh's message without fear. That's what we're doing, right? Yeah, some people might hate it. Yeah, some people might say woo this and that, this and that, whatever. But at the same time, this is showing those elect. This is showing those ones that you can stand firm in the faith. You don't gotta just agree with these people because they make it seem normal or they make it seem like it's cool, right? Because they love these higher up seats, right? You know, Paul went through these things, and Paul standing firm in the faith, standing, taking on the afflictions, taking on the suffering, the things that came upon him. That made more people come in as true. That made people speak more boldly. That made people be more, less fearful to be in this truth, right? They weren't scared because they're like, hey, so we gonna go through these things too, man. He's standing firm in. That's what we do. Right? And that's what we have to do. You got to contend in the righteous faith. You got to stand firm in the faith when these guys get on here and say certain things, do these things. And that's what the elders are really telling us about. You know, you can't be scared of people to think bad of you. They thought bad of the prophets. They thought bad of they thought bad of Yahushua. They thought bad of the disciples, man. You can't be scared if people think bad of you, man. Right? You got to be able to stand firm in this faith. You can't be worried about what people think. Right? It's verse 15. The point is really in verse 15 and 16. It says, it's true that some are preaching out of jealousy and rivalry, but others preach about Mashiach's pure motives. They preach because they love me, so they know I have been appointed to defend the good news. And that's what we do, right? Defending the good news. Now, recent NLT, it says, the one preach a Mashiach of contention, not sincerely, supposed to have afflicted to my bond, trying to make it harder, right? Trying to make it harder on us because we standing for this truth. We standing for this word. We standing for the righteousness of Yahushua. He said, but the other of love, knowing that I am set for the defense of the gospel. And that's what we're doing. We set for the defense of the gospel. Because you have these apostates. You have these false prophets who come amongst the sheep, those hirelings, right? With that false doctrine, with those bullshit doctrines, right? Things as such. So it's for you to stand firm and defend it. And that's what the elders are doing. Because once again, these people have a zeal, right? They have a zeal of the Most High, but not of knowledge. They don't have the 100% truth. You gotta tell the people, you gotta let these folks teaching that that other nations be brought into the chariots. No, man, that's going off. As the scriptures nowhere near tell you that, right? The scriptures nowhere near talking about that. These are the chariots of Israel. Only Israel will be saved. This is the kingdom only for the Israelites. Everybody else will be our slaves, man. Right? Let's see. Go back to Isaiah 5, right? Starting at verse 20. Right? It says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet, sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight, man. Right? You have those ones who are wise in their own eyes. I'm watching the video and it's still up. You know, he's blatantly saying that in Revelation 21, I want to say it's verse 24, that this nation is talking about the word nation is referring to other nations. When you truly, if you understand it, right, this whole, like, even as Elder Apostle Hart said, this whole nation, this whole chapter, Shlaki, is talking about the Israelites. It even says in verse 21, rather 21 and 12, that the gates to get into the kingdom are the names of 12 tribes of children of Israel. So what the hell are them other nations gonna walk in the gates at? These for the 12 tribes. So then you think on the other side it says the Moabites, the Ken. No, man. Right? But right here, it says in the right here, what he said in verse 24, and when you truly understand it, when Yahushua came into light to the world, who he came for, right? He clearly told, I come for the lost sheep of the house of Israel, right? Though the Israelites are the only ones who are gonna walk in that light. Because we the only ones who got that second covenant, that was the laws and commandments gonna be. We got both covenants. The laws and the second covenant where the laws and commandments will be written in our hearts and mind. We the only ones who got that. The other nations, they gonna follow them because we're gonna be on their ass and make them follow. The laws and commandments we have about shall be instituted into the whole earth. Right? It ain't talking about no other. It ain't talking about no other. It's talking about the Hebrew Israelites. Them are the ones who gonna walk in that light, and that's why the elect are the ones who walking in that light right now. This is a dark kingdom. Right? It as I was watching, the precept came to my mind as I was watching it, right? Psalms 82 and verse 5, right? And it says, they know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. Who they're talking about? Esau, Edom. They walk in the darkness. They'll never understand the knowledge of the commandments of Yahweh Shai. The true knowledge, the true understanding of Yahweh Shai to walk in that light. That light is just understanding, following the laws and commandments, that perfection that we're going to achieve in the kingdom when the laws and commandments are put into our hearts and minds, which we're doing that suffering and pain right now to, Lord willing, in due time achieve that perfection. So the ones who are going to walk in that light in the kingdom are those Israelites. Right? Because this is a dark kingdom. A new day is coming. Right? Night is the end of the day. Day is the beginning. Day is the beginning of a new day. So it's a new kingdom coming. Right? And that's why the Most High said, you were not of darkness. You were the light. Because we had the knowledge and understanding of Yahweh Shai. And we're going to, and all the nations of Israel are going to walk in that light in the kingdom. Because the law of commandments will be written out, instituted in our hearts and minds. But once again, these people have a zeal, but they don't have a zeal according to knowledge. They don't know the true knowledge. They just, they don't eat the whole roll, man. They just like what sounds good to them, right? They like what sounds good. They like being in these high seats, man, right? There's a couple more precepts real fast. Matthew 23, in verse 6, real fast. It says, and love the uppermost rooms at feasts and chief seats in the synagogue. And that's what these people like. These people like being seen as top guys, being seen as, they like being seen good in the sight of men, right? Let me see. I know a precept that come to mind, Acts 5. Acts 5, right? Oh, let me see. Let me go to this. Right, what did Peter tell them? Acts 5, right? And around about verse 29, right? It said, then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey Yahweh rather than men. If people want to be seen good inside of men, you want to be in good grace with these men, man, we rather be seen, we rather obey Yahweh Shai, man. Teaching knowledge, understanding 100% truth, right? Which the spirit, the Kakadash brings upon us, starting with, Elder Apostle Hard on down, right? With GMS had 100% truth. These other camps, they going off. These are stumbling blocks, man. These stumbling blocks set up. That's why, once again, I just did a lesson on it yesterday, but I quote the precept, Romans 11:7, man. Israel have not attained what he's seeking for, but the election have attained it, man. The election have attained that truth. The election understand it, right? Once again, quote another precept, everybody in the lesson, John chapter 10, starting around about the 25th verse, they don't understand because they're not of my sheep, right? They don't understand, not of my sheep, man, right? So, the Lord willing, right, just want to go into that, hey, you're going to have, in these last days, you're going to have these false prophets. You're going to have these apostates. I'm watching the lesson of Elder Apostle Kabar, if I'm not mistaken. He was saying how Elder Apostle Tahar, he always titled the years, and he said 2026 is going to be the year of apostates, man. You're going to have a lot of apostates come out. So therefore, matter of fact, we can close this right here, right? Jude chapter 1. Bear with me. I know I'm probably scrolling right over. Oh, come on. Oh, here it is. All right, Jude chapter 1 and verse 3, right? It says, I'll start at verse 1. It says, Jude, a servant of Yahweh Shai, Mashiach, a brother of James, to them that are sanctified by Yahweh, the Father, and preserved in Yahweh Shai Mashiach, and called, mercy unto you, and peace and love be multiplied. Beloved, when I gave all diligence to write unto you of the common salvation, it was needful for me to write unto you and exhort you that you should earnestly contend for the faith which was once delivered to the saints, man. Because you had apostates coming around. You had apostates coming around trying to turn the faith, trying to twist the knowledge of Yahweh Shai. So you got to contend in that righteous faith, right? So that being said, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadash, Double honor to the Apostle Elder Great Millstone. And shout out to the whole Last Star, the 144,000. Shalom.